The city was shrouded in darkness. The only light emanating from the towering skyscrapers that seemed to touch the sky. The air was thick with the hum of technology. The constant buzz of drones and surveillance systems that monitored every move. It was a world where humans were nothing more than pawns in a game of power and control. I had always been a reluctant participant, content to live in the shadows and avoid the prying eyes of the ruling elite. But all of that changed when my closest ally, a brilliant hacker known only by her handle, Zero Cool, turned against me. We had been working together for months, trying to uncover the truth behind the mysterious disappearances of those who dared to speak out against the government. I had trusted her with my life, and she had been the one person who knew my true identity. But now, as I stood in the dimly lit alleyway, I realized that she had been playing me all along. "Sorry, Phoenix," she said, her voice dripping with malice. "But you're just too much of a liability. You're too close to the truth. And I have a reputation to protect." She raised her hand, and I saw the glint of a tranquilizer gun. I tried to run, but it was too late. The dart hit me with a soft thud, and I felt my world spinning out of control. When I came to, I was in a cold, sterile room. The walls were covered in screens, displaying lines of code and images of surveillance footage. A figure stood in the corner, watching me with cold, calculating eyes. It was the leader of the ruling elite, a man known only as the Archon. "Welcome, Phoenix," he said, his voice dripping with condescension. "I've been expecting you. You see, I've been watching you for a long time. And I must say, I'm impressed. You have a certain spark. A spark that I believe can be fanned into a flame." I tried to respond, but my mouth was dry and my tongue felt like lead. The Archon smiled. A cold, mirthless smile. "Don't worry, Phoenix. You'll be speaking soon enough. You see, I have a little proposition for you. You can join me, work with me to build a better world. Or, you can refuse, and suffer the consequences." I knew that I couldn't trust him. That he was just trying to manipulate me. But a part of me wanted to believe him. To believe that there was still hope for this broken world. I looked around the room, trying to take in as much information as possible. The screens on the walls were displaying images of the city, of the people who lived and worked there. And then, I saw it, a glimmer of hope, a spark of resistance. I knew that I couldn't give up, that I had to keep fighting. I looked at the Archon, and I saw the fear in his eyes. He was afraid of me, of what I might do. And in that moment, I knew that I had the power. "I refuse," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. The Archon's face twisted in anger, and he raised his hand. I closed my eyes, waiting for the worst, but it never came. Instead, I heard the sound of footsteps. The sound of the door opening. I opened my eyes to see a figure standing in the doorway. A figure I didn't recognize. "Time to go, Phoenix," the figure said, beckoning me to follow. I didn't hesitate. I followed the figure out of the room, out of the building, and into the unknown. As we walked, I realized that I had no idea where I was going, or what lay ahead. But I knew that I had to keep moving, to keep fighting. The city was a labyrinth, full of twists and turns. But I was determined to find my way out. The figure stopped at the edge of the city, looking out over the ruins of the old world. "This is as far as I can take you," the figure said, turning to me. "The rest is up to you." And with that, the figure turned and disappeared into the night, leaving me alone and uncertain. I looked out over the city, trying to make sense of it all. The screens on the skyscrapers were displaying a message that seemed to be meant just for me. "Hope is not lost," it read. "The revolution will rise." I smiled. A small, tentative smile. Maybe, just maybe, there was still a chance for redemption. But as I turned to walk away, I felt a hand on my shoulder. A hand that spun me around. And I saw the face of the Archon. His eyes blazing with fury. "You'll never escape me," he snarled, his hand closing around my throat. I tried to struggle, but it was too late. The world went black, and I was left with nothing but the sound of my own heartbeat.